Today, California Golfers takes us to the Meadow Club, just above Fairfax, California, and in the shadows of Mount Tamalpais on a very wonderful setting for a golf course. To my right is the head professional of the Meadow Club, Leroy Silva. Roy, it's nice to be out here with our show.
Thank you, Bud.
How long is the course going to play today for our two contestants?
Should play around 6,800 yards long.
That means you got the tee blocks way back.
Yeah, we put them, stretch it out pretty good for them.
Have you got the course in real good shape?
Well, it's in fair shape. The rain has kind of slowed us up a little bit, but it's in real good shape.
Fine. Thanks, Leroy Silva. We'll see you at the first tee and hope you'll act as our judge today.
Thank you, Bud.
Our visiting club champion from the Marin Golf and Country Club is a United Airlines pilot, Kai Thompson. And Kai, nice to have you on the show.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Have you been playing much lately?
All I can.
All you can?
All I can.
What have you been scoring lately, Kai?
Oh, I've been shooting around 75, pretty regular.
Well, that's pretty good. And what's par over at Marin?
72.
Well, that's about 3 over. So you got about a 3 handicap, have you?
No, I just went up to a 5 on account of all the rain.
I see. And account of all the tournaments coming up, too, I assume.
No.
All right, Kai, we'll see you at the first tee in a moment, but stick around. We have the toss of the coin. Let's meet our host club champion, and this is Dr. Doug Ramsey. He is an orthopedic surgeon. Is that right, Doug?
That's right, Bud.
And how many times have you won the championship here?
I have won it one time.
One time. Up for defense this time of the year?
I'm working on it now.
And what's your handicap?
I'm a 6, Bud.
Is this a normal thing or a traveling thing?
Well, it's about my normal handicap.
All right. What do you say we toss the coin now? Should we let our visitor, Kai Thompson, make the call and see who gets the honors on the first tee?
I think it'd be a good idea.
Well, here we go. Oh, you call it, Kai.
Heads.
Well, heads it is, and so you win the toss, and you also get the honors to tee off first here today on California Golfers, and we'll see you all on the first tee in just a moment. And this is the Meadow Club above Fairfax, California, where today's match takes place. It is par 71. And as we mentioned a few moments ago, talking to Leroy Silva, the host professional today, the course should measure very close to 6,800 yards because for Dr. Doug Ramsey and for Kai Thompson, we're going to have the tee box placed back just a little bit. A good look at the fine clubhouse and the surrounding facilities of the Meadow Club. High hills in the background, and our two golfers come up past the pro shop and head for tee number 1. The first hole is actually the 11th handicap hole of the Meadow Club, measuring out today very close to the 500-yard mark. And as we all get ready to start heading down the fairway, a look on the hillside shows us those beautiful deer which just abound in this particular area. Sometimes they run right across the fairway in front of your tee shots and so on. First hole, measuring, as we say today, 500 yards, is a par 5, the 11th handicap hole, on an undulating fairway over the first low hill down into a very shallow type of valley. On a second hill at about the distance of 250 yards is where we expect the tee shots to land. And a little pre-teeing off conference. Leroy Silva on the right in the white sweater, Dr. Doug Ramsey. Kai Thompson is on the far side and having a little talk, and picks out his driver now, and he'll be teeing off, having won the honors. So we're ready to lead it off now in this all-Marin County battle for supremacy among the club champions. Kai Thompson's off beautifully, favoring a little bit the left-hand side of the fairway, and he'll be getting good distance on this tee shot, bouncing up over that second hill. Well, he's passed the marker at the 250-yard mark by about 5 or 10 yards at the very most, so a very good tee shot to open up his match with Dr. Doug Ramsey. And the good doctor is also going to employ his driver here for his first shot of the morning. And the doctor has favored the right-hand side of the fairway. He'll get very good distance, too, as she comes up and over the hill and over that valley and on top of the second hill, just about where we expected the ball to light and to move on. About 240 yards. Now with the 3-wood, Dr. Ramsey will try to make the green. Oh, he's gotten a very, very good distance on this one. He's favoring the right-hand side if he can quite make it up there, but he's a little bit short of getting to the green. Short would estimate by maybe 10 yards at the very most. There's a fine 3-wood shot by Dr. Ramsey. Now Kai Thompson is going to try his 3-wood. He outdistanced the doctor on the initial tee shot by about 10 yards. There's a fine-looking three-wood shot right down the left-hand side of the fairway, but it has to clear that bunker, but it doesn't clear it, and it's into the sand trap just on the left-hand side of the green, a little bit short, but they both have hit very good second shots. Now we'll watch Dr. Ramsey or Kai Thompson, who is just a little bit away, try to blast out of this trap now and up close to the pin. He is up and out and getting a little bit of a roll on the right-hand side and going down. As we can see, this is an uphill green as you come into it from right to left. A very fine approach shot by Dr. Ramsey, and veers off on the left-hand side just a little bit. So he has a great chance of getting it in here for fine opening hole. He can make that putt. A big long putt is now confronting Kai Thompson, champion of the Marin Golf and Country Club. Oh, he charged that putt pretty hard, way up and past it. He thought the green was slow here, the very first one of the morning. Very little dampness on the green. Kai comes on back and misses there on that right-hand side. Gee, that's tough after being right up in there close there with that second shot in the trap and blasting out pretty well. Kai putts down but takes the bogey 6 on the first hole. Well, she stopped 1 inch shy, so he'll knock it in, missing that attempt for the birdie. And Dr. Ramsey takes that first hole, although this, of course, is medal play, with a par 5 against Kai Thompson's bogey 6. So it's a stroke lead for Dr. Ramsey as we go to the second hole. 436 yards this measures. It is a par 4. Hit off an elevated tee and past the hillside, coming down on the right-hand side of the fairway. A little rough on the left-hand side all the way down, very sparsely settled with trees. Dr. Ramsey's hit his ball going up toward that hillside on the right of the fairway, and he may have trouble for his second shot unless that ball comes on down, and it doesn't. It hits up in the tall grass, and it stays right on the edge. That ball wasn't sliced, it was pushed. And Kai Thompson hits his driver a long one, this time down the left-hand side of the fairway. Very fine golf shot. And he got a fairly good bounce and a roll, so he'll have a good lie, and he'll have good position for his second shot in. Doug Ramsey hits his 4-wood out of that rough. He got into it very well, going right toward the green, and hits just a rise in front of that green, bounces off to the left-hand side, and he is into the left-hand bunker. That was a fine out of that rough for Dr. Ramsey. It was a great shot. Boy, that was a tough lie all the way through. Kai Thompson has the 7-iron now to try to get on the green. Boy, what a tee shot he hit on this hole. Well, he's gotten into it well. He'll be on the green all right on the left-hand side, I believe. He is on there. Very fine golf shot. Had a nice bite to that ball, and he's just about pin high. Dr. Doug Ramsey. And he blasts out of that trap. Up and a little bit long on past it. It was a nice blast just the same, and he's about 30 feet away from the hole. Kai Thompson away, about a 35-foot putt. Oh, he read that very, very well. So he'll have an easy knock in here to get his par 4. And Kai Thompson has his par 4 here on the second hole. Dr. Ramsey has to sink this to stay even with him on this hole and maintain his 1-stroke lead. Just not quite enough. He's hitting a little bit of a heel mark there, and he'll tap it in for his bogey 5, and that evens up the match here at the end of the second hole. Both have 10 strokes for 2 holes, and both are 1 over par. The third hole is another par 4. It's an uphill affair, measuring about 415 yards today from the tee block situation where they're placed. Kai Thompson will go back to the tee first of all. Now, position means a lot here. You've got trouble. You've got rough to the right-hand side. If you hit too far to the right, that is. And on the left-hand side, you're bordered off from the second fairway. And there's a narrow strip of rough there with a few trees to contend with. Kai Thompson using his driver. Coming out, hooking to the left-hand side, and he may have gotten through the rough separating the two fairways. And Doug Ramsey hits his driver, and he has kind of towed this one off the edge here, slicing in the right-hand side up into the rough, and will be down there at about the base of that tree. Now, Kai Thompson is going to use a 3-iron. He'll have to go up and over that tree just facing him. He's about 175 yards out, using a 3-iron from not too tight a lie. Oh, there's a fine golf shot. He got into that very well. Up toward the green. See if it's got enough distance to carry in there, and it does. Great looking golf shot on the right-hand front of the green, about 60 feet away from the pin. Dr. Ramsey with his 3-iron. Fine out there. He's headed right about the same spot where that ball's resting, hit by Kai Thompson. And he's right up there with him. And he, too, is on the green in 2. And this is a tough hole. This is the 3rd hole of the Meadow Club above Fairfax. And it ranks as the 5th handicap hole to give you an idea of its toughness. Oh, that long uphill putt that's going to break to the right all the way through, and boy, it really has a big break to it. But it was a fine try by Doc Ramsey. He's about 2 feet shy of the hole. Here's Kai Thompson's putt coming up, and it also breaks off this time to the left in about 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet shy. Well, they both have little bits of putts to make, and these are the tough ones, we all know. He gets it in, he'll be down with his par 4, and he'll still remain at 1 over par. And he does. 14 strokes, 1 over for Kai Thompson at the end of the 3rd. Now, Dr. Doug Ramsey, the champion of the Meadow Club, has to knock this in here to get his par 4 and still remain 1 over at the end of 3. Nice putt, and he's in there, and that's the way they stand. The 4th hole at the Meadow Club above Fairfax measures 390 yards. It probably is acclaimed as one of the easiest of the par 4s on the golf course, rating the 13th handicap department. But both of them had a little trouble hitting traps on this one, and both got down in their bogey 5s before we got around to teeing off on the 5th. So they were both 2 over par at the end of the 4th hole, and they climbed the little hill to the elevated tee to look at the very fine 155-yard par 3 5th hole of the Meadow Club. This is right across the valley onto the green off there in the distance. The traps don't present too much of a problem here for the golfers off this. 4 over par, 39 strokes. But they say the tough side of the Meadow Club is over. Going to the 10th hole, just after a short sandwich break, invited out here by the fine folks of the Meadow Club. We look right straight away from the clubhouse, and going right out almost, I guess, would be due west, looking in toward the sun at this par 4, number 10 hole, 390 yards in length. Turf there. Lost him about 15 feet of roll. Ramsey's driver is right down the center of the fairway. Fine tee shot for Dr. Ramsey. Good one. Still rolling along. And he's only about, would estimate 50 to 60 yards out from the green. But now comes the task on the 16th hole of the Meadow Club. Doc Ramsey will have to pitch this one up here with a wedge.